He
wants
wants
them to come back.
Ball to stay.
Hey.
Which makes sense, man. Because Lonzo, he's a pass for first point guard, and Zion likes to go to the hole, so that's a good union.
And his numbers weren't that bad.
Nah, I think they just need more time to gel together, man. Because both of them been injured.
But wasn't you the one saying Lonzo a bust?
Oh no, I still say that. But I'm saying that they need more time to gel, man. Like
I was just like, oh yeah, they weren't bad at all. I'm like, wait.
I ain't say he's good. I just said they're a good 1-2 together, man. Lonzo likes to pass.
I'm so confused. The dude ain't good, but he a good passer. How'd that work?
What are you saying? Out of his trashness, he got one shining light.
My point is, he's not. What was he? Number 1, number 2. He's not number 2 pick quality, man. He should have been mid to late first round.
We gonna put a pin on that when we ain't going in that rabbit hole again.
First of all, do you think Aiden is a bust?
What was he drafted as?
Number 1.
Was he?
Yes.
Oh, let me look at
I don't think he's a bust. I just think.
No, I want Curtis. I want to ask Curtis because Curtis be having these very specific.
You know, here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's other factors that play into being a bust too, right? Like, the media narrative. Hold on, hear me out. The media narrative. I blame the Lakers. I shifted. This is why I say I blame the Lakers, because when Ball got to the Lakers, you had one of the best point guards of all time say, "Yo, this is the savior of the franchise," or whatever he said, right? Ain't nobody said it about Aiden. Ain't nobody said it about Markelle Fultz. Ain't nobody said that about De'Aaron Fox. Ain't nobody said that about Steph Curry.
Can we do this? Are you recording? Are you recording? Lonzo's a buzz. I'm going to try and figure out why Lonzo's a buzz. Like that's the direction you go with it. That's what it sounds like. With this whole
I think that's what everybody should do. Find out why to support it. But then with your statement before,
no,
hold on, hear me out.
How are all these other people like? How is Ben Simmons not a buzz? Because you remember the historic blow up the team episode. You were very upset that we were suggesting to get rid of Ben Simmons.
I still think they should blow up, but that doesn't match what I said. I said what team drafted the pass first person as a foundational piece.
And I asked that question, and I just answered it with Ben Simmons
and Magic Johnson.
But Embiid was already there.
Like he answered it, but hold on, he answered it, but it's also irrelevant. How is Ben Simmons not a bust?
It is.
That's what I wanted to say.
It is.
But it's irrelevant. The conversational thread starts with Lonzo. Is what we're talking about.
And remember, Ben Simmons was under the rim and he passed it because Trae Young was coming. I'm just throwing that out there. That's a bust automatic. That's automatic. We can't say we gave him from playoff team. We call him Pandemic P, and you could say. It's not, not media, but you're going to say, oh, well, he gave himself Playoff P as the title. But that withstanding, Playoff P went and played. He missed the free throws, but he did everything else. Ben Simmons missed the free throws, and he passed the ball when he saw Trae Young coming. It's not just that he passed the ball. He passed the ball like he saw Shaq coming. Like, oh, man, I better give this no way.
Shaq and Mutombo.
Didn't Trae had a block that game, I think, right? Didn't Trae have a block?
Oh, because he had a block.
That might have been in the back of his mind, bro.
No, Curt, I can't hear nothing you got to say about anybody being the bus right now because you making an excuse talking about because Trae had a block.
The dude said, hey, I heard he had a block that game. I ain't want to be number 2.
Like, y'all didn't see that deflection he had in the first quarter?
Hey, man, Trae Young's defense is, it's...
You can't even say it. You out here, Trae Young defense is, Welcome everyone to another episode of the Warmup. I'm here with the guys. It's me, King Kris. We got Buster in the building, and we have Deuce. Say what's up to our crowd and our audience, guys.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, shout out to my boy Reg's name, man. I like that last minute change, man.
I don't even understand the reference, but that's okay. Okay. So, if this is your first time rocking with us, this is a place where we talk about sports, current events, and everything else in between through the lens of Black culture. And check us out on the audio side of things, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever your favorite podcast platform is to retrieve all your latest and greatest. And if you're on the video side, check us out on YouTube. The links are in the description box below. Feel free to check us out on both sides. See which one you like, man. Both of them have different flavors, man, different tastes, but it's all for everyone to consume the same. So, anything you guys want to touch on before we get started?
That was a great intro. Just ready to get into it for the people.
Hey, same, man. Let's rock with it.
Cool. All right, man. First, man, we're going to just talk about this guy. Y'all may have heard of him, the Rookie of the Year. Oh, I'm sorry. He wasn't the Rookie of the Year because Ja Morant was the Rookie of the Year. We're talking about Zion. He's camped, though. He's his second season as a New Orleans Pelicans. And I don't know, man. Something murky going on down there in the Big Easy. His camp is not happy with Pelicans organization so far. There could be multiple sources of the reasoning. Van Gundy being hired, maybe kind of how JJ Redick got traded, maybe Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball's contract. But Zion camp ain't really too happy, man. I know y'all probably heard this news before, but we're gonna talk about it today. We're gonna just talk about seeing, hey, does he even have the cachet? What should they do with them? Let's just start with the cachet. Is this even a topic to be had? What is Zion's leverage in this I guess rumor, right? Let's just start with Deuce, man. What do you think about Zion's cachet in this alleged rumor? We don't know. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but he said he wants to better.
Yeah, alleged. All right. Let's go with alleged. All right, but let's stick with some facts in this alleged story, right? So Zion's been there for what, two years, 2 seasons?
Seasons.
But he played a season's worth of games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Zion got there. He lost Rookie of the Year because he wasn't healthy, right? Stuff happens. It is what it is. The dude's only played 1 year worth of basketball for the Pelicans, man. Zion's a tremendous force, incredible player, but dude, you can't come in on your rookie contract and say, you and your family saying, we don't like it here, we want to go somewhere else. Do you even know the place, man? Do you even know how to make it around the stadium yet? Do you even know where your parking spot is?
Hey.
My point is, you got to put some time into it. We all know the structure in the NBA. I'm all for player empowerment. Got it. The team pretty much controls every asset of your professional life with your rookie contract. Zion is just scratching the surface, man. Remember, we heard something like this with Cat in Minnesota that he wanted to get out. What happened? Minnesota's like, nah, bro. We got you for a couple more years. We got your services for a couple more years. Yeah. So I think that he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have a dog in this fight, man, because New Orleans, they also gave up a lot to get him. AD is an established star. Disgruntled. They could have kept, I think he had 2 more years in this country. They could have fought that. They could have kept him. But they said, we're going to get Zion. We're going to sell the whole ship, empty out the coffers, bring in the LA cats to build around Zion, man. And so just to bounce when the team does that, I know this player empowerment, but the team has to maneuver to put themselves in the best position to make money for the people that work for the team. People at the front desk, people working the ticket booth, the people that clean up the stadium. Team wins, money falls down everywhere. So to answer your question, come on, Zion, put some more time into it, man. Give us some more time. They're bending at your will, hiring and firing coaches at will, trading players at will for who? For you. So give it a little more time.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what's up, man. You know what? That's the first time I actually believe I agree with everything that you said. In a while, maybe in 2021.
Publicly, man.
It ain't the first time.
I know.
In 2021.
Yeah, both drafted the Warriors as your all-star team.
That was in 2020. This is 2021.
Oh, in 2020. Okay. I wasn't paying it. I wasn't listening.
Oh, it's all good, man. Bust a bust. What you got?
Just a quick clarifying question. So for Zion, is he asking for a trade?
Not formally. Not formally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So because when I first read this, I'm ready to go like Deuce too. I do think he does have a cachet, not to trade as a rookie. No, you in that contract, bro. Like, you might as well get comfortable and figure it out. At least make sure that you're doing what you need to do to establish your profile. And, you know, leaking or having rumors about what your camp wants is not one of those things. But I think he does have the cachet to, behind closed doors, influence, you know, the organization who has picked him as the franchise leader to do some things that he thinks will help. Like, you're a rookie, you don't really know the business yet, but like, you can have some inputs. Like, I like this player, I don't like that thing. Like, I feel like I could be successful with that. Like, I think he could have those kind of inputs, but leaking out to the media and saying you don't want to be here, I don't think he got the cachet for that. I think he just needs to, you know, he got injured, unfortunate. You can't put the blame on him, but at the same time, like, they lost a whole year on you already. Like, you coming from behind. Yeah, you coming from behind, you know, trying to play catch up at this point. You can't really be dictating how things go until, like, really, you know, get some playoff success or something. Like, if he had, like, you know, got them to like quarterfinals, semifinals or something, then maybe we'd be like, yeah, Zion. But like, right now, it's just like, he's doing his thing. He's doing some of the things that he needs to do, but he just needs to get in that situation of figure out how to get to the next level. So he could do that and show that he's capable of doing that. Would anybody even really be like breaking, like, you know, traditions to try and get him? Like, you never see a rookie get out like that.
Yeah, that's very true. I can't think of anyone. Usually, if you're traded as a rookie, it's because it didn't work out. Like, the organization kind of gave up on you. We've seen it with Markelle Fultz. We've seen it with Hasheem Thabeet. I don't know if you guys remember that guy. It's a long-term project. It's still long-term.
It's funny because I was searching for that since we talked about it in the pre-show. If I found the Reddit thread, title of it says, an NBA player ever been traded out of his rookie contract, or turned down his rookie extension because he wanted to. The closest thing, according to his Reddit thread, was Shaq. 95, 90, was Shaq. Because he played for 4 years in Orlando. There was no restricted free agency back then. Orlando wanted him, but he turned down the extension.
Yeah. Because LA was going to give him more money. I forget who it was. Someone made more money. Someone signed like a $100 million contract or something like that, and he was like, I want that money. So I think that's what it was. But yeah, you're right. And he would have resigned too if it wasn't for the money that he saw before he signed.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. I forgot who
I forget what player it was.
It was another center, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, nah, I want that money.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but yeah, man, like I said, you guys are saying the same things that I probably would say. I don't think, look, this is not something that, you know, this is, you barely play 82 games. And honestly, you guys aren't bad. I mean, you guys, the organization or the team that was built, you have some good pieces, and you can also massage a little bit. I know the West is competitive. If you was in the East, it probably would have been different, but fine, you're not in the East. And yeah, like, you know, you have a good partner in crime who's been there a little bit older, like a little bit longer, with Brandon Ingram, and who's actually developed into like a really good number two position or shooting guard or whatever. So why would you want to rock the boat by saying you're not happy for whatever reason? I don't think any rookie is going to be 100% happy. I don't think LeBron was 100% happy. I don't think Chris Paul was 100% happy. You know,
star rookies aren't. The rookies that are farther down in the draft, they get drafted to good teams. Of course, they're happy.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But you were so good in college that they said, hey, we can use you as a
day one
piece, to rebuild and kind of create a foundation out of. Yeah, just like you said, if you didn't want that, then yeah, just say, hey. I mean, James Harden did it with Memphis. He was like, I don't want to play for Memphis. That's how we got Hasheem Thabeet. We didn't even work out, or they didn't even work out, allegedly, James Harden, because they knew that he wasn't going to want to stay there. Because
I think Curry, like, for lack of a better word, weaseled his way out of that too.
Yeah. So, I mean, it happens, and I feel like, I mean, personally, I mean, as a general fan of love of the game, I feel like, yo, get in where you fit in. It's just kind of like pickup ball. I don't care where I get picked up. Like, I can be on a team full of scrubs, so I'm like the best player I don't really want to be, but that's fine. Like, to me, that's a challenge. To me, that says, okay, like, let me see how I can massage this into a victory. You know, get people open and do things a bit more from a top level view, and not be the person who just like, oh, I'm just one of the guys, and you know, everyone's scoring. I don't have to score. I don't have to do anything. Play a little bit of defense, get some rebounds. Like, I really just be, you know, I just want to be on the court. You know, so I just
especially at this point in your career.
Yeah.
Now, if this was like after his rookie contract is up, then you could be like, okay, he's thinking more serious things. But at this point in your career, you should just be like, how do I be the best player I could be in the situation I'm in right now?
Yeah. So I think his focus is already, and again, it may not even be him. It may be all
allegedly.
Yeah, this is allegedly. So we're speaking off of speculative sources, right? So, I think right now he just needs to really just focus on improving his game. He has a lot of areas he can focus on to improve and become a better version of himself, so that next year he can be a more formidable foe. You know, breaking that top 10 best player they would talk about every year. So
we're treating this as though Jay Williams had like broke the news, right? You know.
Hey,
you heard it here first.
Hey.
I got a question based off of that though, because it kind of goes into player empowerment, right? Zion seeing these established stars making moves. So allegedly, let's call it the J Wills. He wants to move out. Let's say it's true. How do you guys feel about that? What if player empowerment gets so strong to where you can break your rookie contract and you can leave a team after 2 years? And they say these stars just float around, come to a good team, win the championship there, or at least make a far playoff run and then bounce to the next team. How would you feel about that as a fan?
Nope.
I wouldn't like it, but I don't think it would even get there, to be honest, because player empowerment makes sense because the business can still make sense. Like, there's going to be a tipping point where it's like the product will suffer from that. Like, and I feel like we've been towing a very good balance. It was probably over leveraged the other way to the owner's direction, and I feel like we're striking a better and better balance. So some people dismay, like they didn't like what was going on with Harden or super teams or whatever, but for the most part, I feel like I still like the product.
Yeah.
Like, even now, like, you can see LeBron wasn't happy about the play-in tournament, whether that was in hindsight when he didn't really make it. That's why. But, you know, between that, the shortened season, there were things that players didn't like, but they still happened because the business had to make sense. So I think us as fans got the best of both worlds. I think players might have got the short end this season, but in a lot of other ways, players got the good end too. You know, Harden being able to finagle his situation, and other players, the buyouts, and all these other kind of situations.
Hey, shout out to Blake Griffin.
There you go.
So I don't know. Maybe Zion should just stop dunking. Just do the no dunking policy from his camp, and then
until he gets in his next situation.
Yeah.
And to be honest, man, the player empowerment is just with the stars. Like, I think we talked about that before, because come on, Nick Batum isn't gonna be out here saying, "Hey, I demand a trade." To they can be like, "Man, you don't take your back there, get out of here. Why are you in my office?"
Exactly.
I mean, they can do it, but
they can do it. But
a lot of times when they demand a buyout or a trade, well, a trade they're not getting, but a buyout. I mean, if you get bought out, that's fine. You may not get picked up again, though.
Yeah,
there's a reason you get bought out.
So yeah, man. So what do y'all think about the Pelicans? Do y'all think they should take this thing seriously? Should they kind of ignore this? It's just kind of like hearsay, like, oh, we're just gonna ignore it. It's just white noise. What do y'all think on the Pelicans side of things?
This should be less messy. This shouldn't be spilling out. If this is your franchise guy, you should hear his concerns, but you know, at the same time, you should understand that you're new to this. So you kind of have to figure your way first before you can kind of even start setting a direction. You want to creep scope. You know, like, his role right now is big enough that he needs to really figure out how to be the role player on his team as the number one option. Like he's not doing so well at it that he could be like, oh, I could GM too. Like he's not that level of it hasn't come to fruition. Maybe he got delayed because of the injury. Maybe that's just not in him, but for whatever reason that hasn't come to fruition. So just focus on being the best at the role you have now. It's not a shut up and dribble, but it's just like learn how to dribble first before you start trying to GM. That's it.
Learn how to dribble. That's funny.
Yeah.
Dude, you got something, man?
I think, yeah, they gotta, come on, man. It's tough. But we do know that David Griffin is familiar with this territory because he worked with LeBron, and at least from the GM manager side of the GM house of things, LeBron is an easy person to work with, right? Mm-hmm. So they got it. I think they should listen a little bit, but they can't give what Reg like to say too much ear, or what is it? Earful. I forgot the phrase you used to say, man. That blew up.
What you used to say? I don't know. I don't remember either.
I don't know, man.
I'm getting half an ear, a whole ear.
Equal ear. Equal
ear. Yeah.
Right. Taking it back to like the first episode.
They don't want to get Charles Barkley camp an equal ear, man. That's messed up.
I feel they gotta give him equal ear.
No, he's not giving equal ear.
If they tilt too much towards Zion, man, that's gonna let him know that he has a lot of power, right? And he can flex on them. So I think they should just show him that they're working to build a better product. I think that's the extent of it.
And we've seen this with Dame. We've seen it, like, you know, people who have established themselves as stars. Like, you don't have to do everything they say, but you should take their input seriously. And if you choose to go to a different direction, like, you should be able to, before you make a final decision, at least come to them first and explain why you're going the direction that you're going instead of the direction they wanted. Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff that we see, the drama, is just really unnecessary.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think I understand where you guys are coming from. I can kind of agree. Like, give him the platform to speak his mind and say, oh yeah, we'll take into consideration. Yeah. But I also would just kind of like lay it out, like, hey, this is kind of, you know, what we are expecting. This is why we drafted you. You know, is it something that you're up for the challenge? I mean, honestly, if he's not going to live up to the challenge, if he says, let's say the conversation goes like, hey, we drafted you for these reasons, and we feel like you're a good piece, a vital piece to build something special. Do you feel like that's something that you can do? Like, is that something that you feel like you can be a part of? Do you feel like you see it in yourself? If he says no, I would trade him. And the reason I would say that is because if there's either two things that either be happening. One, you're lying to me, which I don't think I would take too favorably. Or two, you really don't think that you're the guy. And if you don't really think you're the guy, let me get high value for you before you make yourself a low value trade asset. So
Ben Simmons,
like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Do you think the JJ report, because I know JJ went on this podcast and pretty much lit the New Orleans Pelicans front office organization on fire, man. In his pod, he said those are people you just cannot trust. And he said he accepted some blame being like a long time vet in the NBA, but he really thought, for whatever reason, he could trust him. They told him one thing. He said this happened before, but they made it genuine.
Yeah.
And he bought in and saying he's in Dallas.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, Zion likes JJ. That was one of the reasons listening that the J Will
mill, the rumor mill.
He lost his password to Twitter, man.
So you don't know me like that. But I have a question though. Like, as critical we are of refs and, you know, GMs and front offices, do these players, like, you know, if PG came and Clippers and said, y'all need to do this, why y'all ain't working this way? If they was to just roll back the footage and show the missed free throws or something like that, would these players like the hypocritical, you know, kind of dialogue that that is being pushed?
I don't think anyone likes hypercritical anything. I mean, I think there's a balance. So I mean, just like I don't know, I'm a referred to or referenced it to the whole Kanye and Taylor Swift thing, where it's just like, oh, you know, one side was like, oh, they didn't get my permission to do it, and then Kanye hit it with or Kim Kardashian hit it with the audio.
Recording.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes I think when you start to be hypercritical and you start to like say, oh, it's always the organization's fault or whoever, then, you know, then the organization can be like, always come out and have an official statement. Hey, this is kind of what happened. Blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. And, you know, now it just adds more context and it just adds more angles, or it flushes out the story a little bit more so we can kind of discern what's actually going on versus like one side. So I think being hypercritical is detrimental to everyone's side, because like being hypercritical means that like people, defamation can happen or like all these things. I don't hopefully we don't get there, but I do know like a lot of times, like in this instance, right, Pelicans are looking like they're a bad organization, like badly run organization. And we've seen that trend line from back when Anthony Davis was there. And actually, if you really want to look at it, go all the way back to Chris Paul, like when it was sold, and then David Stern was the owner of it, because, you know, that's kind of like they didn't have a buyer and all these things. And yeah, it just never, like, the whole medical staff is being shared with the Saints and the Pelicans. This just reeks of bad management. Just
dysfunction.
Yeah. So,
you know, it's funny you said that, man, because I was listening to, is it Colin Cowherd? Yeah. He made a good point, man. Talking about management and ownership, right? The Saints, so going back to David Stern, he sold them. He said it was like one family in New Orleans that had money. The cats that owned the Saints, right? So Stern went to them like, you guys have the capital to do this. Take them. And they gave him a deep discount. Being businessmen, you have to take that deal, right? All right, sure, we'll buy it. They're football people. They're a football family. And I think most people would say they've done right by the Saints. They know how to run football teams. They don't know how to run NBA teams. And he made a good point that the two are two totally different ways to run it. You don't have to deal with like Rez talked about, if Paul George coming in firing shots at the GMs at the Clippers, but if they show footage of him missing free throws, they might be able to do that in football because it's not a players' league, right? So they're mismanaged. And today he said they should hire somebody, a basketball person, to run them. Now they got Griffin, but there's two cats above him that's from that family. I forget the name of the football family. That he has to answer to, right? So that relationship, because I think we think David Griffin possibly is a good GM. Some people credit LeBron for those teams. Some people credit him for those teams. Let's give the credit to him. Let's give him some. Let's say he's a good GM. I think that plays a lot into it, man. I think that plays a lot into what's going on with the Pelicans. And like you said, I can't think of a time they had stable leadership. I mean, the NBA owned them for a minute. That's odd. And that whole Chris Paul thing, that could have worked out for them.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. We should just move the team to Seattle. I think everyone's gonna move to Seattle in a little bit.
NBA wants the team in Seattle bad.
I mean, New Orleans ain't taking care of their own, so I don't know. That may be a good place for them to relocate. But we'll put in that, man. Anything else y'all want to talk about before we move on from the Zion saga? I'm sure we're gonna hear about this again later on.
Yeah, we'll address it later.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we'll keep it pushing, man. As you all know, the Western Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals are in full swing. We have the Clippers with Playoff P leading the charge. We have Phoenix Suns with Devin Booker leading the charge. We have
Why
the
did
Bucks.
your voice change with that, man?
Huh?
3-1. 3-1.
Hey, man, Ty Lue.
3-1 is doable. 3-1 is doable.
It's very doable.
Hey man,
difficult.
Happened twice in one playoff season before.
Can I do my intro, or y'all want to keep interjecting?
Oh, go ahead.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. So we have the Phoenix Suns. We have Devin Booker and Chris Paul, CP3, point guard. Milwaukee Bucks. We have Giannis, and then the Trade of Truth, aka Ice Trade, aka Atlanta Hawks team is also there, man. They are putting up a good fight. And yeah, man, this is the first time we're gonna have a new fresh face in the finals that's not LeBron or the Warriors for the first time in a long time, right? Yeah, so it'll be their first time. All the marquee players, the Chris Pauls of the world and the Giannis's of the world, like, be the first time they'll be even in the finals, like to even win the chip. If anyone wins, it's always gonna be like the first time, right? So it's pretty cool, interesting, unique, and very fresh to see. So, question, man, who do y'all think is going to win the chip of these last 4 teams? Like, who's your pick for the last
chip
4 teams?
or going to be in the chip?
I mean, both.
Okay, I think that unfortunately, just because I wanted to see the Clippers do better, they're not gonna make it. It's 3-1. It's looking like they could have won the game. It's like, we talked about this a little bit in pregame. It's not as easy as it should be for the Suns, which could be a little bit of a red flag. But it's looking like the situation that it is. We don't know if Kawhi is coming back. There's, back and forth between the camps on who's right and who's wrong between medical stats. It just seems as though the Phoenix Suns are going to skate through and meet up with what looks like to me is going to be the Bucks, because Tre got a heavy load over there. He got some help, but like, if he's not scoring on fire, they're not winning. So, and the Bucks are playing very high level with the addition of Drew Holiday. You got Middleton knocking down the tough shots as he has been, and just Antetokounmpo just dominating. So I think that's what's gonna end up. Phoenix
and Bucks, okay.
And if it does come down to that, I'll go ahead and put the Bucks that swept my team this season. I'll go ahead and put them as the championship.
Okay.
And then also, I'm gonna go ahead and take this L too. Just kind of looking at Antetokounmpo. You really gonna go back to Milwaukee? And lo and behold, there's been injuries and things along the way, and people shine up to the moment. But hey, they're out here.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, yo, when you like them, man, you love them. When you hate them, man, they look real questionable. Like, you be out here want to fire people. So I feel you. Deuce, who you got?
I like Red said, man. Here's my thing. First off, I think it's gonna be the Bucks and the Suns. So my thought process is going off of that assumption. The matchups. Do you think Aiden can hold court with Giannis? Not saying stop him, but can he make him work?
He can make him work, but I don't think that they'll be using him as the main defender, the primary defender.
Yeah, would that be the coverage? Because Aiden's a center, right?
Aiden is a center. And they also have Lopez. Yeah.
Because Lopez does need somebody to guard him. Maybe you don't need a big per se, but because he sometimes stretches the floor and shoots threes and whatnot. But I don't think you could just be like, I'm gonna put Aiden on Antetokounmpo and call it a day. I don't see that.
So here's my thing. Here's how I look about it, man. Here's how I feel about it. I think as far as matchups, right? Okay, you can put Crowder on.
That's what I was thinking of.
That's probably
you can put Crowder and Giannis to start with, right? Because you want Aiden over there by the goal. Sark can go on Lopez. Lopez is gonna stand in the corner and shoot threes, unless they let him go down in the post and wreak some damage, right?
Which he can do if he needs to. A little bit.
Now,
he's not the best of them,
but he can do some stuff, right?
Yeah.
So for me, the question really isn't Giannis. Giannis is gonna do what he does, but I think Crowder can make him work. That's what you want to do. The question for me, because and then you have Drew Holiday, who he's having an off series, but we know he's a player, right? Booker, you got Paul, you got Payne. Who's guarding Middleton? That's my question.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the Suns roster. I don't see anyone that can match up with Middleton. And I think the Bucks match up perfectly with the Suns. So I don't see a question there. I think Middleton, I don't see anybody on the roster right now. Aiden, nah, he's gonna be.
If they didn't have both of these players, I would have said, Crowder again could have been on Middleton. But because of that, you gotta make a decision. And I feel like Crowder is very good at playing up.
Yeah.
I think another problem with Ayton is, you kind of have to guard Giannis a little. Even though most of his shots are inside, you gotta follow him around and have that lateral quickness. And I feel like Giannis is blowing past Ayton easy. That's just how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how his strides are, how explosive he is. He's gonna get past him, and then who's the help? That's why I like Crowder a lot better, because he can stay in front of you and take that physicality, and you're gonna get some, but you're gonna work for it.
Yeah.
So then it's like, who's guarding Middleton is a very good question.
Because you're putting Bridges on there. Bridges is a young player, man.
Mm-hmm.
Middleton season. This is his year.
And he's long, and he's making these shots over people like all day.
He's on his Paul George redemption, man. Because people said Giannis is a good player, but Middleton, is he the second best player on the championship team? He's been hearing that for how long?
Proved it this season in my eyes, like easy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I had to go with that too, man. I like what I see from the Clippers, even without Kawhi Leonard. They lull you to sleep. They think they dead. They play possum a little bit, then they come and hit you with, 4 straight gut punches, and next thing you know, you wonder why you down, you out.
Yeah.
I also like Atlanta, man. Look, to be honest with y'all, like, I know that's the popular opinion is probably going to be Phoenix and Bucks. I will go Phoenix and Hawks. I'm really surprised. Wow. I'm really surprised by Atlanta. They took out Phoenix. They took out Philly. They took out New York. And Philly was a really good defensive team.
Yeah.
New York was a really good defensive team. And they're playing with so much. I think because Philly lost to them, that gave them even more confidence. Like, they're riding on nothing but confidence, young energy, and the ignorance of not knowing any better. Like, they're not injured. Again, because they're young, like, they're not injured. You have Trae Young, who, even when he got in the seat, like, came into the league or whatever, I didn't think he was the kind of guy who was going to be the loud mouthpiece. And he's become the loud mouthpiece of the team. You got John Collins, who has showed up, who was a young, on his rookie contract as well. They added veterans with like Lemon Pepper Lou come through, and you got Bogdanovich. Yeah, like you just have all these young pieces, and Nate is having them play with this kind of like Monty Williams, having them play, because both teams are young. You have them play with this level of confidence and arrogance, slight arrogance. They're just like, yo, no one can stop us right now. Yeah. They figured, like, even the games that they've lost to Milwaukee, they've been close. Except for that one game. I think there was one game where Trae didn't play well.
They got blown out.
Yeah, and he said, like, yo, it's my fault. What you want?
Yeah.
Want your main guy to say, yo, it's my fault. I should have played better. We gonna get him next time. Cool.
I think that's the problem, though, because, like, there's so much of a load on his shoulders.
But it's not just him, though.
It's not just him, but at the same time, like, other teams, like Kawhi's down, like Clippers can pull it off. If Trae's down, can they pull it off?
I think the thing with Trae, because even when he had a bad game, the closeout game with Philly, but he was still like the facilitator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they don't have. I don't think they have another facilitator.
I don't think so either. No.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And Milwaukee. So you named all these other defensive teams: New York and Philly. New York was New York, right? Mm-hmm. Philly, you got Embiid playing on a half meniscus. Simmons has totally just freaking disappeared. We don't know what happened with Simmons, man. The offense wasn't there. Milwaukee could play D, and they got offense, man. And I think this is the first time Atlanta's ran up against a team that can play D, but also shoot and move the ball and get the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's predicated on Chris Middleton. If Chris Middleton gets off, then the team is unstoppable. But we've seen Chris Middleton just take weeks off, and we'd be like, yo, what are you doing? Are you old Chris Middleton now, or are you the new Chris Middleton that we saw you in round one? So I don't know. Like, that's, to me, he's
been doing enough.
He's
to get them put. And I hear what you're saying with the Hawks. I wouldn't pick them just because like it's gonna be a tough battle. But they, to circle back to other teams like the Warriors, it just seems like a team that can just explode out of nowhere and just take over a game that you thought they had no shot at.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're too far behind.
Yeah.
Like that win they went and got. I was like, how did they do that?
Yeah. Now don't get me wrong. Like, I don't say it with the level of confidence that I said the Milwaukee Bucks last year. See, that's the thing. Milwaukee has scorned me because I was out here like,
I hear you.
Y'all gotta beat the Miami Heat because, like, bro, y'all the better team on paper.
But did they not redeem themselves?
Look,
4-0 sweep sent them home.
Look, I know when to ride the hot hand, and right now, Tre the Truth is the hot hand. So I'm just gonna go
hotter than the Bucks though.
Hey yo,
were they the only team this season to do a sweep?
Who's that?
Who, the Bucks or the in the East, or just
overall?
No, because Phoenix were undefeated until now, until the Clippers hit them.
Oh, word?
Yeah,
this has been easy for them.
Yeah, it's kind of easy. Yeah, so
I mean, hobbled Lakers, and then who did they play the second time? Was it? Shoot, I forgot. The Jazz? Was it the Jazz?
The Jazz didn't win one game?
Jazz?
No, was it?
No, it wasn't the Jazz. They didn't
play
the
Denver.
No, it was
Denver.
Oh, yeah, Jokic. Because I remember the flavor.
Yeah, Jokic couldn't. He was solo dolo, man.
So
he tried.
So I don't know, man. I can't look like. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is kind of what my gut's telling me, man. And because I've seen Atlanta pull it out. They got a great coach. They got a better coach than Budenhauser.
Why is interim still next to his name? That just confuses the crap out of me.
Wait, he's an interim coach?
He was.
Yeah.
I think he's officially their coach now. But they say
really, it took this long. It took this long,
bro. They need more facts. Data collection. They need more facts.
I think it would be smart to keep him as an interim coach if that's the case. What is the benefit of locking him in?
Another team coming in and stealing him.
Yeah.
I mean, according to you said they would have been better off losing because they got him just to get rid of him.
Who we talking about? I'm talking about Atlanta.
Oh, I thought y'all were talking about Budenhauser.
No, he is a coach.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Boone.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to fix that immediately. I thought you said they had Budenhauser in interim. I was like, that was confusing to me. But I mean, if he is, like, they need to just go ahead and keep him on the interim.
They demoted him to interim.
I thought that's what you said. I was like, okay.
So
put that fire under him. Let him know if you don't make you out.
Hot seat. Hey man, sometimes hot seats work. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Sometimes it works in very interesting ways, like Brad Stevens, hot seat. Then they lose, he gets the president of basketball operations. How'd that work? Or it was a GM.
Dude,
how'd that work?
Maybe they liked his vision. His execution was just trash. So they was like, okay.
His whiteboard skills are like next level, huh?
Yeah.
Bro, I wish I could do that. I wish I could fail to success.
Y'all seen them PowerPoints he put together?
I wish I could just fail into promotion. I'm trying too hard. I need to just try hard or try less.
Hey.
So man, my question for my next question for this is who stands to gain the most out of winning the chip? Should they win the chip? We have 14.
Out of the 14?
Out of the 14.
Y'all better say this. Y'all better say there's only one name y'all can say.
No, yes.
Wait. Who gains the most?
Who stands to gain the most? Yes.
I think it would be Atlanta in my opinion.
What? Atlanta? Okay. Yeah. No, let him speak. Bust your rhymes, bruh. Rhyme and spit.
The young team that nobody expected to take it all, coming in and taking it in this early, there's nothing but upside for that. That's like the Cinderella story. This is like the Warriors winning their first chip. What do you mean?
I likes it.
I think if you want to flip the question at who has the most to lose, then we start going Clippers first.
Oh my gosh, man.
Because they should have been doing this battle. Like it's a long sheet of disappointment. Then if we were going in that direction, then the Bucks. Because it's like, how many times can you come here and not produce? And then I would say Phoenix Suns and then ATL. That's how I'll break it.
You know what? That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna go with that exactly, but I do. You know, I'm just playing with margins at that point. So, dude, you got some. Apparently, you're not happy. What?
I'm saying, what do you have
who
to
do you
say?
stand? Who stands to gain the most or lose the most? And they don't have to be the same answer.
Mm-hmm.
Who stands to gain the most? Let's see. What player that's currently playing now has a Hall of Fame career with one glaring omission?
Giannis, Paul George, Kawhi.
What player has a Hall of Fame career?
CP3.
Say it again.
But that's not gaining the most. He already a Hall of Fame. That's why I was like, I don't understand. Like the question as it was framed, it was like, who has the most upside? And to me, that's easy peasy. Hawks first, Suns second. Easy.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we had a debate about is the championship really that important, but when we watch Inside the NBA, Inside TNT, right? I forget the name of the show.
Inside the NBA.
Inside
on
TNT.
There you go.
Shaq still reams Barkley on what? Not having that chip, man. Granted, that's old era. I got it. But that's what they played for, man. That's what they sacrificed for. It's for this chip. It means, to some, it means a lot. To people like Kevin Durant, not as much as you thought it did. Yet,
allegedly.
he still go, in Kevin Durant's case, he still goes to teams that put him in the best odds to compete.
Contenders.
I mean,
he
he didn't go to, he purposely didn't go to the Knicks because they weren't this Knicks, right?
No.
So to me, man, Chris Paul, I think he's been in the Western Conference before with the Clippers. I want to say he has.
Yeah, that's when he lost. That's when he had his hamstring against the Warriors.
Yeah. So he's about to go to the championship. He's never sniffed the championship before.
I'll say this though, with the Atlanta Hawks, right? If they were to win this season and then never did anything else, that would be the story. Y'all remember that Hawks team that won that 1 year?
Yeah, Cinderella story. Yeah.
Who else got that kind of story?
Chris Paul.
Nobody.
The flip side.
No.
Chris Paul played for 10 years in the NBA. He makes it to the championship and he loses. On this show, we talked about Chris Paul and his playoff history and how he has like some type of playoff demon on him, man. He's always injured. Something that happens even this season. The man was playing on one shoulder, bruh. One shoulder. He's out there, and he comes back. It looked like he was about to lose again. To me, Chris Paul's career can be cemented as a certified champion, the true point guard with an NBA championship, nothing less.
To me, it don't really add much. He's already Hall of Famer. He's already great, and we know all the other stuff was really not. You couldn't just sit back and say, CP3 wasn't enough. Like he was injured. It was all kinds of stuff going on. I feel like he doesn't have that much to gain, the way I see it, at least. I feel like if the Phoenix Suns won this season and then never did anything else, what does that say? It's like there's no satisfaction.
It cements Chris Paul's career. It says Devin Booker is not a good player. Good stats, bad player person, man. He's a legit bona fide star.
A Deucey. Yes or no question. Is Chris Paul considered the point guard, the best point guard, arguably in the NBA history?
Arguably, yes.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Certified.
Okay. So I need to know.
So what is the upside? I don't understand.
What else would he gain out of winning a championship? I'm just kind of curious.
Then you can add championship to his name. Man.
So the resume, just the resume.
Check it out. It's huge. Chris Paul, his some people say his body is starting to shake. He lost a step. We know that. Chris Paul is still bouncing. He's not bouncing around, but the NBA is bouncing him around. He's still staying in, still trying to be at the top of his game to win a championship. That's what he wants.
Hey, listen, you know what I'll say? Though? If you made the same comment last season when he almost took OKC somewhere, then I would have been like, all right. Because it's him and who else?
It was him and Shia Gilgeous.
This is and the fingerprints have shown it even more. So if anything, it might even a little bit taint his legacy because it was clearly the book show.
I mean,
because he got injured, he went out, and D-Book still kept him in there. And other players, Ayton stepping up and all the other kind of stuff, they made it happen. Even when he was like you just said, he was out here with one shoulder, and they were still able to advance. It's not because he did so good with one shoulder. It's because he has such of a supporting cast right now.
Is this not the same team they had last season?
It's similar. They didn't have Jay Crowder. They did not have. There was another player who they didn't have. And
Crowder's an addition.
Mikal Bridges, I think he's a rookie, right? So
I think he's a rookie.
And then last season, as you love to reference,
8-0
in the bubble, right?
Mr. Bubble.
But before then, they were a last minute invite. The last minute invite because they wanted Zion. They weren't included in the original draft, man. They extended for Zion. But here's my point. Chris Paul. Let me ask you this: do you not think that Chris Paul had an effect on this Phoenix team?
Yes,
absolutely.
Every team,
undeniably.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's about his leadership, right? I still
did not put him on the court, and then his leadership really, like, you see it on the defensive end, especially.
Yeah. Yes. I still think it's Chris Paul, man. Chris Paul for his career.
So
Devin Booker. I'm gonna say Phoenix. Devin Booker from being like a legit star instead of people saying, "Oh, he's just a good stats guy. He's a bad player. He's a good stats guy. He's not a championship guy." And then Monty Williams, man. How long do we have to wait? We all knew this dude could coach. Everybody knew it, but it took years for another team to hire this guy. So I feel like this is a redemption for him. I feel like it's clearing the reputation of Devin Booker, and I feel like it's certifying Chris Paul as a champion. Atlanta, they young, man. They got opportunities, bro.
All right.
So
Chris Paul might not be here and might not be playing next year. We don't know.
So
not at his level.
Again, the upside, like he might not even play anymore, and it was not an issue. It's not like he's like, I gotta play until I can get this championship. He just might be like, hey, I'm good.
So
you can do that.
Real quick, man. Who stands to lose the most? Because I know you said who can gain the most. It could be someone different. It could be the same person.
Oh yeah.
Who stands to lose the most? Out of the four, definitely the Clippers, man. I think Atlanta, they're young. Trae Young's on the contract. They can keep that team roughly together. Phoenix, I'd say they can gain the most. I don't think they'll lose the most.
Of course not.
And then
Paul.
No, I'm just going down the line. And
in the Bucks.
Yeah, the Bucks. Giannis, he seems like a loyal cat, man. The Clippers, bro.
Why?
They signed Kawhi and Paul to 2 years. I think Paul re-signed. Kawhi still hasn't. Reggie, all the announcers said this dude's making money. He's making money. He's a 20-point player in the playoffs. He's a contributor. I think the Clippers are going to lose too much if they don't make it, bro. Mm-hmm. And then for all that money they spent, they gave away a good team.
They gave away all the draft picks. It's a rat.
They're the Nets. The Nets from a couple years, 2 years ago.
It's a rat. If they don't get it, I don't see it. I don't see the light. I don't see
the other teams imploding like that. The Clippers are gonna freaking go nuclear.
What about you? Gave yours already, Chris?
No, man. Cause
go ahead. I want to hear what you got to say.
Curt
you were burning,
boy. This dude. So. Stand to gain the most, man. I know y'all don't like him, and that's the reason why he stands to gain the most, man. Mr. Playoff P himself, Mr. Clipper himself, Paul George. You know why? Because last year, y'all ridiculed this man.
Y'all? Are you including you in that, y'all?
I think he's including Playoff P in that, y'all, too. I think everybody was ridiculing.
Everyone, when the Clippers did not make it out the first or second round, they barely made out the first round. The second round, and y'all was out here like, we waited for the Battle of LA, and if it wasn't Battle of LA, they didn't make it to the party. Y'all made this thing such a show about the world not making it. Top flight security of the world, Craig, was out here owning it. It was crazy. Snoop Dogg was tweeting, talking about the Clippers. It was the hierarchy was the Lakers, UCLA, USC, Pop Warner football, a bad mixtape. You know what I'm saying? Like everything, they put them down. LA Clippers.
He's not telling no lies right now. I don't know
I think Carlton, when he played basketball and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, is even above them from last year.
Exactly. Bro. So they got so much ridicule, and they blamed Doc Rivers. They fired Doc Rivers. They got Ty Lue. Ty Lue lost by 50. We was joking, was cackling. Oh, look at Ty Lue got a call Doc. All right, 50 down, 50 point loss. How that happened? Blah blah blah. We was joking all year. Playoff P just said, "Hey man, I'm gonna go ahead and get this 50-40-90." He missed it by a little bit, but they just was quietly moving in silence, right? Got down 0-2, first round. Oh, here they go. Clippers be clipping. They was out here crip walking. Then they went ahead and shut that noise. Went 4 straight. Then they went against the Jazz. 0-2. Here they go. Clippers be clipping. Every time. Playoff P. Where Playoff P at? Playoff P ain't doing nothing. Kawhi go down. What happened? Playoff P went for 4 out of 5 games? 30 points? Right? 30 plus points? Even in this series, okay, yes, he missed the last 2 free throws, but before that, he hit the 9 straight clutch points to get them where they were. Now, good, yes, he didn't close it, but hey, you got to make it there first. And I mean, maybe he was tired. Everyone misses free throws. Dylan Brooks missed free throws that could have tied, or they could have won the game.
We've seen this before.
It happens. No. You put your head down. We still talking. And then on top of that, he's doing this without his number 1 guy in Kawhi.
Yep.
And a fully loaded young Phoenix team. We just said it already. They don't look like they're blowing this team out. They're like winning by like 4, 5 points. This is a close game every time. They're in the game. Every time they think they're down by 20 points, they come up. So who stays the game the most? Playoff P, because y'all can stop talking about it, because y'all can't say if you win a championship. Oh, but Kawhi was there. Kawhi hurt. Kawhi's in the skybox. He chilling. You know what I'm saying? Clippers. Oh, we should move the Clippers to Seattle. Get out of LA. Nah, because then they'll be the number 1 team in LA that have a championship to show for. What does the Lakers say every time? Laker fans say every time. Clippers ain't got none. Ain't even sniffed no chip. What they doing? They ain't the team around town. Blah, blah, blah. Bro, if the Clippers win, it'll be so much just bitterness that the Laker fans will have to suffer. Everyone will be like on like Paul George and saying, okay, he finally redeemed himself. What more will Paul George have to do? Ty Lue, hold on, Ty Lue, even Ty Lue, he just said we got a guy right here. Dude ain't even rated. He not overrated, underrated. He's not even rated. And then he said he saw him do the same thing. But imagine Ty Lue taking this team that looked like crap and taking them to a championship. He's taking a championship. Bro, across the board, except for Kawhi, across the board, everyone was gonna win. So you tell me how that's not gonna look good on them.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Before you went on that spiel, bro, I was looking at it like, even if they turned it around and pulled it off and got the chip, people would have looked at it as, man, that's just what they were supposed to have been doing. They're finally just living up to their expectations. So that's why I didn't put them as the standing the most the game. But hearing that, like, I can see why you. I still put Atlanta as the most upside. Yeah. In my opinion, but I see what you're saying. I can see why you'll make the argument for the Clippers.
Yeah, they're definitely playing with house money. So I agree with what you're saying with Atlanta too. They're playing with house money.
I'm still gonna put Phoenix up there. You gave a good narrative. I mean, if Paul George won, I mean that would change the narrative on his career.
I don't think it would though.
He's gonna have haters. He's gonna have haters. Huh? He's gonna have haters for sure.
Not even haters, but they're gonna put up like, okay, what about last season? Or like, what about the season before that? What about like the 2 free throws in this? For like, there's gonna be like Kawhi being down and him doing it helps the argument, but there's still gonna be so many like things that it'll balance the scales a little bit. I mean, but it's not gonna give him like, okay, now PG gets the respect. I don't think that's gonna happen.
PG is an easy person in this life. For some reason, I don't know what it is about his persona, but it's something about him that makes him easy to dislike.
Wow.
But at the end of the day, man, professionally speaking, he can always say, I won the championship for the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think that's the part why Kawhi gets so much slack. That and the fact he just doesn't say anything. He's smart. He doesn't give you anything to grab to. It's like you can't. It's like it's Kawhi. He doesn't
say I'm playoff Kawhi. He should get flack for that commercial with the crown in the in the lowrider.
He doesn't
get enough. He does not get enough flack for that.
Yeah,
I think.
You're right.
I think he slides with it because people know it's not his norm. You know what I'm saying? But so I raised my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching Shannon and Skip go back and forth with Paul, and Skip, I hate quoting Skip. He brought up a stat, something I have to fact check. You got to fact check everything come out Skip's mouth. But he said that Paul George has never in this season missed 2 free throws back to back.
I don't think so. I would agree with that.
So
and I thought it was so Clipperish for him to miss 2 free throws when they needed the most.
Clippers and Paul George's. Like when you need him the most, he can't get you across that line. But Kris, you had to listen, bro. You deserve a round of applause. For that
that was nice. The breakdown was good. I was like, okay.
I thought I was watching it. I thought I was back in the theater, bro. I said, Kris taking us to town on this one, man. Y'all was made me shift my position. I respect your point, though. I respect it.
Say
yeah.
I'm flip it though. Who stands the most to lose? You ain't answer that one.
Nah, man. Honestly, it won't be as bad. But who stands to lose the most is going to be the Bucks. And the reason I say this is because they did all this tweaking. The thing that we talked about with the reason that they fell short is because Chris Middleton didn't show up. Now he's here. He showed up. They got a better point guard. Eric Bledsoe was supposed to be the problem. Then they got Drew Holiday. They got PJ Tucker now. Budenholzer's still there. I don't know why, but fine, whatever. We're gonna say Giannis. Oh, he worked on his jump shot. No, he didn't. I mean, it's still broken. But like
the Great Wall isn't working. He broke through the Great Wall.
Yeah. So what?
Man, they can't put up a wall.
That too, but I'm
but he is. We could say Atlanta, Miami, who put up the wall, didn't work this year.
Yeah,
right?
They can score.
Then the Brooklyn Nets, everybody was injured, but still, like, you know, and they weren't the most defensive team anyway. So
yeah,
but, I mean, but they making it.
Giannis made us say that Blake Griffin is a decent defender.
Yeah, bro. Never in his career he's been even called a decent anything on the defensive side. We know the dude don't play no defense. So I would just say that because I mean I think at the end of the day what they stand to lose is the coach getting fired. No one's gonna ever believe in the Bucks again, who is not from Milwaukee.
You think Giannis is gonna step out?
No. He's on the cut. I think he'd be fine. Like I think that's his mentality. He likes where he's at, which is fine. But
yeah, that's good. That's rare.
Yeah. So I just really think that at the end of the day, you know, it's not what they tend to lose. It's not going to be as detrimental as what the Clippers stand to gain. But yeah, I think you know if Phoenix loses, run it back. If Tre loses, they'll pay my house money anyways. If Clippers lose, well, y'all didn't like them anyway. Y'all thought they was trash. It was all fake anyway. You know what I'm saying?
But the Clippers, out of the 4 teams left, though, the Clippers are the ones that they lose the players and they don't have any draft picks.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, I think they can keep Paul. I think they did sign Paul, but everybody, Reggie's looking for money.
I mean,
that's why he left OKC.
Yeah, well then let him leave again. Get someone else.
He ain't going back to Detroit.
I heard Zion's in the market.
Yikes.
So
that'd be a weird team, bro. If Kawhi came back, Paul George, Zion, that's a weird team.
Yeah. So, man, anything else I want to say, man? We crossed the threshold.
I think that's it, man. I agree with that. I had to agree with that Giannis one as standing to lose. He wasn't even in the MVP running, so that would have been a regression right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you know, he needs this. He needs this.
Yeah. So, but 2-time MVP though. So.
Yeah, you know, MVP with nothing to show for it. Like we talk about Hall of Famer and all that other stuff. At least with all these other guys, yeah, they disappear here and there, but like they've all had some good playoff performances. I can't recall saying like Giannis having a great playoff.
Giannis is what Ben Simmons should have been.
What?
I mean, they kind of are the same. They just one's a little bit taller or got longer arms. He's a little bit taller, and one is just not afraid. Yeah, one's just not afraid.
Yeah, fearlessness.
The game, though, Giannis plays close to the rim. And he's a great defender. Mm-hmm. The ball handling, I don't think it's on Ben Simmons' level, but
yeah. So cool, man. All right, well let's wrap this up, man. Good topics, good talk, guys. Let's go ahead and close this out, Buster, man. What you got to say for your sign off?
Thanks everybody for rocking with us, watching this episode, listening to it, or however you getting it. We glad that you're here. Like, follow, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Cool. All right, Deuce, what you got?
Hey, Jay Williams, man. If anything ever happens to you doing what you do, man, we got a spot for you, man. You can be a guest contributor. Hey, we'll make sure you remember the password to the Zoom, bro. We got you.
Oh man.
Yikes.
Oh man. Hey. You know you be doing some solicitations, bro. You out here Jason Whitlock. You be out here.
I don't think that was Reg with Jason, man.
Oh, y'all be out here fishing. Y'all be throwing the bait out there.
You said you're gonna bring Candace Owens, bro. What you talking about?
No, I never said that.
I don't think he would say that. That was on like something that would come out of Chris's mouth.
You know.
Oh, you right, because he only want to bring Stacey Dash, man. That's right.
I don't want to bring Stacey Dash either. Why you got what's up with the slander?
Stacey can come through though.
I mean, Russell Wilson can come through. We can talk
about.
Here
for that episode.
We can talk about some football. You know what I'm saying? Have a couple of cocktails, but no, those other talking heads, no, definitely not. Right. But
WNBA season is going on. That league pass ain't too expensive. I think it's less than $20 if y'all trying to get into it. Support black women.
I know, Deuce. Let me borrow 20.
Reg, let me hold 20. Hey, Chris, you already owe me money.
I do. But that's the reason. But that's the problem, man. Like, bro, it's hard out here. It's hard out here.
I didn't even think about that too. Hey, but shout out, Reg, thanks for bringing up the WNBA, man. Shout out to I'm messing up his name. Taurasi.
Diana Taurasi? Oh yeah, number one scorer.
Yeah, man. She passed Tina Thompson, man.
Yeah, man.
9,000 points, man. She's still out there balling. That game looked good. I saw the highlights.
Bro, she been playing for like ever, yo.
Since 04.
Man.
She was drafted in 04.
She's 39, bro, doing it.
She's still doing it, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to her, man. She a true legend. Is she Hall of Famer? Okay, I was just asking.
Scoring in WNBA? That's not even the question.
I was just asking. I just want to know. I was just asking you.
Yeah, because she's scoring, but you could have been like, well, you know, they expect.
Yeah. What did you expect her to do when she came out? Oh, media hype. No one looking at her.
You're the number one scorer in your sport. Of course, you're Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Goes without question.
Hey, what about the?
But is she a bust though? It's like you could be a Hall of Famer and still be a bust.
I've never said that, bro. I've never said that.
I just
ever.
We just asked
you a Hall of Famer. You're a Hall of Famer, man. You can't be a bust and a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
All right, man. That's good, man. Well, like I said, we keep asking you who's a bust and all this stuff as things continue and progress.
That could be a little segment. It could be a little segment. Bust of the week.
You know what? That could be a segment, man. I can do that bust of the week, man.
Okay, there you go, man. All right, man. And anything else for you, Deuce, before I move on and close this out? Cool. All right. And this is King Kris, man. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Feel free to subscribe with, on the YouTube, like us, and comment, all that stuff. Hit the notification bell. Follow us on social media. We're here every Tuesday. We drop one every Tuesday on the audio side and also on the video side. On the audio side, please go ahead and give us the 5 stars on the Apple Pod, Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Just keep listening, man, so the algorithms will know that you care about what we got to say. And we'll keep providing this hot context, man. With that said, man, we should let everyone go. I know it's late, so we're gonna go ahead and get to what we gotta do and stuff. But until next time, guys, peace.